Richard Hammond, former Top Gear presenter and all-round nice bloke. Richard, good afternoon to you.
Oh, thank you for that. That's
all
very
right.
Nice.
Wasn't bad, was it?
I'll take that any day of the week.
Listen, you've reviewed more cars than I can't imagine how you could even remember how many reviews. You've been behind the wheel of many a Jag in your time.
Yes.
What's going on at Jaguar, firstly?
Well, either it's a stroke of absolute genius or the most hilarious mess-up I've ever seen. I think it might turn out to be the former. We're all talking about them. We're talking about them now. That commercial that featured not showing the car that prompted Elon Musk to say, do you guys make cars? I love it. It worked, did it not? It got people talking about it. I think the new car that they've previewed in Miami, don't forget it's concept. And the world is, every now and again, we see this car and all go, wow, and then we get something a bit like it. But even if it turns out to be a bit like it, it's an electric car. The key issue with JLR and with Jaguar at the moment is, one, they're not actually making cars from the end of this year until they make this new one. They've mothballed the entire factory. Right. They're going to be making only electric cars. And that's the biggest story, isn't it, really, that's hiding behind this? Because the new car, is it any good? I don't know. It's a concept. Haven't seen it for real yet, haven't we? When it comes out, will it be? Well, it's an electric car. The technology isn't there yet, but it will be. And the point is, the industry itself, the broader industry, all of the manufacturers are at an amazingly exciting time. They're not going away, despite what the naysayers say. No, we'll just have anonymous, autonomous boxes that drive us to and from the office. Of course we won't. These things take us out and get us the opportunity to find everything we need in our lives beyond shelter at the back of our caves. If you need anything beyond shelter, you need food, a mate, resources, water, occupation, job, war, love. You've got to go and get it. That's why humankind devised a machine that enabled us to do that more quickly. That's why it's the one machine that's never going to go away. Are they going to be all electric? No. Are they going to be all petrol? No, they can't be. We've seen what that does. There's loads of other solutions. So we're going to have all of these distractions for about, 20 years when we'll mess about trying to find other ways of making it work. The most important thing is technology is already doing it. Engineers are already there. The internal combustion engine, the petrol engine as we know it, never did any damage to anything. It was the fuel. But we can change the fuel. We can make the fuel using renewable energy. Yes, it uses a lot of it, but when we're overproducing renewable energy, we can bank it as hydrogen, combine it with carbon. You've got hydrocarbon. You can run that in any car. So this car is just another part of that bigger, broader story. And I like that it's exciting. I like that it's making noise and controversy because cars aren't dull and dreary. They never will be. They're exciting and thrilling and visceral and real and analog, electric or internal combustion. It doesn't matter. They're not going anywhere. So I kind of congratulate Jag for making so much noise.
Do you know what? I also came to a similar conclusion, Richard. I initially thought, what the hell is this? And I thought, well, hang on a sec. The advertising agencies do kind of weird stuff. That's sort of parcel of it. And they clearly wanted to change their image. I just remembered, by the way, talking to you, I went to an unveiling, I can't even remember what the Jag model was, down there in Chelsea a few years ago. Jay Leno was flown in to unveil it. You might have even been there, Richard. I don't know. They obviously paid Leno, a squillion quid to, pull the...
to get his chin in.
To get his chin in there, yes. And that was like still classic Jag territory, but they must have reached a tipping point when they thought, hang on, Inspector Morse and, Jay Leno are, well connected. We're quite happy to have these people connected to our brand, but we need to change it. And that's surely at the base of it.
I've loved all of that. There was a big piece I was reading about, all us middle-aged men, you're forgetting about us. Well, yeah, because if I'm a marketeer, I would be. I mean, I've got two E-types, an XK150, an XJR. I've got lots of Jags, but I'm 55. Why would a marketing agency be interested in me? I don't expect them to be. I love Jaguar as a brand, but you can't weigh down that we call them heritage brands, don't we? The ones that have a history. They can't be burdened with it and expected to carry it forever and give a nod to all the people. If you like old Jags, they're not getting rid of old Jags. Open the garage door, your old Jag is still in there. Don't worry about it. There will be a new Jag, a new type of company. It's not the company it was years ago. Anyway, there's nobody with a brown stock coat on and a pencil behind their ear wandering around going, well, that'll do, that's about right. They're made in a different way for a different audience. So if what Jaguar wanted to do is get us talking, we're talking about it on your radio show right now, aren't we? So it worked.
It does indeed. Listen, Richard, great to have you on with us. Thank you. Let's speak again and see where this story goes. Richard Hammond, former Top Gear presenter and, you know, the foremost of names in the world of car-based endorsement, I would suggest. Here's another one to add to that. You can think Clarkson and Hammond and the other bloke.
May.
James May. I sort of half know a little bit, so I should have recalled him. Yes, you could think that, but actually, James Max is the man you really want to talk to about this, who's joined us in the studio, talk presenter, part-time usherette, and also, you know,
wow,
a man and Jaguar enthusiast.
I do like a Jag, and I have to say, I think Richard Hammond has stolen the thunder slightly, because there are so many haters out there after this advert. Oh, go woke, go broke, all that sort of stuff. And this is turning into textbook marketing. Why? Because we started talking about it. There was visceral love, hate, whatever it may be. But also, what Jaguar were doing is sending a very clear message. What you knew before about Jaguar, we're going to take the very best bits of the essence of the stuff that you really liked in the past. The E-Type, the visceral excitement of motoring, of a bygone age where a Jag was a head-turner. And for the last 20-odd years, they've done one great thing and a lot of mediocre things. And they haven't made a lot of money. The one great thing they did was their EV, their electric vehicle, the I-Pace, which won every single award because it was brilliantly made, very well engineered, very well priced for what it was. And it wasn't a boring Tesla. Yep. It wasn't a boring old jelly mould of a car. And the thing is that Jag are now saying, we've got too many grey and black and white cars on the streets. We want some colour. So there was Andrew Neil, our sort of fellow from downstairs on the 14th floor in Times Radio, going, oh, they're trying to replicate, Penelope's, Thunderbird's mobile and all that sort of thing. Lady Penelope and blah, 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 and it's pink and blah, blah. Then he misses the point. The point is that they are creating a talking point. They are creating an amazing icon. And you look at the pictures of the concept, I think people will look back and go, now we understand what they were doing.
You're right. And as Richard Hammond just told us, the eventual car won't look anything like that.
No.
But it's obviously the idea is to get everybody talking about it. What he did say is true. You, me and him are all pretty much in the similar age.
We are, and they're not
bracket.
really aiming at us.
They're not aiming at us, are they?
No.
I mean, it looks like... I mean, it doesn't look... It looks like a... I don't know, I'm looking at it now, a futuristic kind of pink
But if you
car.
have a look at the top-end cars that there are, and perhaps one of the best examples, which I think you could afford it, but I probably couldn't at this stage of my career, is the new Rolls-Royce Spectre, which is...
I've ordered it.
Yeah. £300,000 of amazing sort of energy and drive. What they're trying to do, what Jag are trying to do is say, we can't make money out of mass market.
Yeah.
We can't make money out of being a manufacturer that makes a car that looks like everybody else and is everybody else, because that's what they've been doing for the last 20 years. We want to do something different. And the people who are doing things differently are either somebody like Lamborghini, oh, wow, look at those, except you could never have one, it's so impractical. Yeah. Or a Rolls-Royce, wow, look at those, look at the football, oh, you can't afford it. This is going to be more affordable, but less affordable than they were before, because they're going smaller market, smaller volume, bigger profit. And also, if you buy a Jag, you'll stand out. No longer will you just buy a car and it's like, is it a Jag, is it a Kia, is it a something else, is it a Hyundai, etc., etc. No. If you have a Jag, you'll stand out and people will either go, love it, hate it.
I was just looking at their website as we were speaking, and there are some already very tasty Jags out there. I'm looking at the F-Type, the Coupe, the F-Type convertible. These are stunning cars. The thing you just said, I think, is relevant to this. They don't necessarily stand out. They are beautiful. Their design is incredible. These are still very expensive vehicles. I'd imagine you'd have to go on a waiting list for about a year before you got one delivered to your driveway. But could that be... could it be a Bentley? Could it be an Aston? It could be any of those. They are clearly looking to redefine themselves to a younger audience and to create like a Tesla moment almost. Like,
nobody has taken the electric vehicle and said, here is the future. Yeah. What everybody with an electric vehicle has done is to say, here is the future, but in a form that you recognise. It looks like a car.
Yep.
And Jaguar are saying, hang on a second, no, this is a luxury vehicle. So if you have a look at the materials that they're thinking about using, I mean, you know how people got excited about burr walnut. I mean, they're getting excited about using, very thin slithers of granite and base metals and various other things. And the sound systems that they're planning on putting in there will be absolutely awesome, combined with screens that flip up, all the things that technology can already do, and all the things that you probably wrote in the 70s and 80s when you were a small child going, this is what a future car should look like. But if you go back in history, what did Jaguar do really well when they brought out the E-Type? They made people go, wow, that's different. There was no car that looked like the E-Type on the roads.
Yeah.
I am hoping with hope, and the proof will be in the cars that they produce, as Richard says. If the car they produce is epic, the job will have been done. So I hope it is technologically epic and that they get over past mistakes that they've made, but also engineering-wise, find a way to make electric car driving exciting, and they will have cracked that nut.
And put the silver Jaguar back on the bonnet.
I do like a Jag. I mean,
It's not been on for a while, has it? It's the symbol. I don't think they're allowed to. Like the Silver Lady.
I think there are problems with
health and safety
or something. And if anybody thinks that this is some kind of weird woke thing, it's not. Because if it was, I wouldn't go with it.
But if I was going to be hit by a Jag at 70 miles an hour and it was the bit that finally did me in was the silver Jaguar, then I'd take that every day of the week. You would you?
I'll take that. I'll take that with the legal.
He died as he wanted to go. Yes, with a silver Jaguar in his ear. Nothing wrong with that. James, thank you.